Welcome to the Sid Gunn Report. I'm Sid Gunn. Tonight, I'll be talking about communist subversion. Webster's dictionary defines subversion as a systematic attempt to overthrow or undermine a government or political system by persons working secretly from within. Now, the key word here is within. That's what's happening now with this new alt-left, liberal, extremist movement. But while the alt-right was having a heyday with their little Pepe the Frog and giving Cher a nervous breakdown on Twitter, they unwittingly fueled the liberal fire which triggered an army of social justice warriors to Cher's rescue. Now, I know these kids, they're out there, they're on their 4chan site or whatever, and Reddit and all that stuff. And they've got these memes going and that Keck or something like that with this Pepe the Frog thing. And it's like a cult. I mean, they believe in this stuff. These memes are doing something. I mean, it's on the internet. You're posting pictures. I don't know, okay? Everybody in America's got a right to their belief or to have a hobby or do whatever, okay? I'm not knocking them, all right? But they are aggressive. I'll give them that much. They are aggressive, and so they did go after a number. And it I tell you, it is comical, okay, to see this. Cher's losing it. She's got no clue what anything about the internet. I mean, come on.
I am shocked. I'm not surprised, but I feel. It's like there's a death in my family.
So anyway, while the alt-right and these 4chan and all this stuff, they're basking in their spoils of war, and they're sitting back now. Trump won, and they're having these perverted fantasies about the Swiss Miss Cocoa Girl or whatever. I don't know.
Yodelay-o, Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa. What's the best way to start your day?
Give a little yodel.
While they're doing this, the SWJs are mounting a counteroffensive. And I'm telling you right now, the battlefield is going to be the 2020 presidential election. And so it begins, ladies and gentlemen. The war for America. You thought it was won? This, my friends, is only the beginning. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's from Ephesians 6:12 in the Holy Bible, that we place our hands upon when we swear in to service for the government, whether it's military or public service. So remember, every communist takeover by subversive means, it takes resources. And for now, George Soros is on the top of that list. He provides money to just about every communist and Marxist organization that opposes free thought and the American way of life. And Soros wasn't the first. The subversive communist assault on America started many years ago, but now it's founded a resurgence. I'm not here to give you a history lesson, okay? My main concern is what's going on today. The mainstream media and the alternative liberal press and media, they're mobilizing. They're mobilizing their mindless liberal bots, as you might say. You see, now it's okay to douse innocent people's faces with pepper spray. It's also okay to bash good law-abiding citizens with flagpoles and shovels until they're laying unconscious in the street. Fires in the streets, burning cars, apparently that's okay too. Kids will be kids, I guess. That's what CNN wants you to think. But make no mistake, these are not protesters. These are not rioters. What they really are violent, communist domestic terrorists. Just because they're still on mommy and daddy's Obamacare doesn't give them a free pass to undermine and attack American democracy. This resurgence of communism and subversion in the last few years, I believe, almost cost Trump the election. If it weren't for the smug overconfidence of the mainstream media and their hack pollsters, we true Americans may have been the ones crying right now or blowing our heads off, because Hillary would be cackling away right now, flying around the Capitol dome on a ratty old broomstick. So believe me, when I say these communist liberals, they won't make that mistake again. They're planning their attack for 2020. At this very moment, while I speak, they're on the warpath, and if you listen, you can hear their drums. So what can we do? That's really the million-dollar question now, isn't it? The answer is really simple. We can just sit on our butts and email our representatives all day long in between playing Farmville or whatever. That might be a start, but it's not going to be good enough. The answer is that we have to unite and initiate subversive countermeasures.
Die, die.
We have to use their own weapons against them, even if it means taking to the streets and beating down their own so-called protesters with our own flagpoles and our own shovels. Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, stood his ground as Confederates fired on Fort Sumter April 12, 1861. He kept the nation together and eventually paid for it with his life. We Americans have to do the same. We all know who's trying to divide this country. The lines aren't as clear as they were in the Civil War, but we know. It's the alt-left, the communist, liberal extremists. They're the ones who fancy radical Islam and ISIS as their allies. Now, my friends, it's time to draw the line in the sand. As General Schwarzkopf would have said, that's my report for tonight. So if you are of this persuasion, please subscribe and share this urgent message on your social networks. The enemies are at the gates, people, and this time they're not taking prisoners. This has been the Sid Gunn Report, and I'm Sid Gunn. I bid you good night and many blessings of liberty to you and your future generations.